Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Astrology.tv show with the beautiful Kelli Fox. She is an incredible astrologer, and we are so grateful to have you joining us so much here on the numerologist.com page, Kelli. For everyone who's out there, hello, my name is Leanne Kalal, and I'm a member of the numerologist team. And Kelli and I have been having weekly chats, and we're talking about everything that's going on astrologically and in the sky and how it impacts us how it impacts us on Earth. And so today we are moving into the lovely Cancer the Crab. The Cancer the Crab season is officially here. I was just telling Kelli ahead of time, I'm totally feeling this. Maybe it's because I'm a Pisces and a fellow water sign, but I'm feeling a positive shift in energy. And I also see here that we have somebody's birthday. So O'Day Mel, happy birthday. Thank you for tuning in. And basically today, Kelli's going to be talking about what does it mean that now that we've moved into the zodiac sign Cancer, how, if you're a Cancer, what you can expect throughout the upcoming weeks. And for everybody else that's listening, this is relevant for you too, because Kelli shares really great wisdom and knowledge that's relevant to all of us. So Kelli, welcome.
Hi, Leanne. Hi, everyone. So good to be here as always. And yes, we will be officially moving into Cancer season on Saturday. Well, actually, I'm looking down. It's Pacific time, 11:41 p.m. Pacific time USA, which of course is Sunday for everywhere else in the world. So that kicks off the start of Cancer season, Cancer the Crab. And there's a lot going on for Cancer the Crab. That is for sure. So today I'm hoping I can talk about what everyone can expect over the next few weeks, what Cancers can expect over the next few weeks. And if we have enough time, Leanne, I hope we can squeeze in some compatibility for Cancer and all the 12 signs.
Let's do it. That's exciting.
Okay,
and
cool.
Before you dive in, I just want everybody to know in this link, if you're a Cancer, if you know Cancers, forward this to them because there is a free birthday report that Kelli has put together. So make sure that you go get your free birthday report. I'm going to post the link here, but I just wanted to share that before we get going because let's celebrate. It's birthday time.
Yay. And hi, everyone. And I just want to say hi to Bob. Bob says hi to me and I sometimes miss it and I miss when he says it on my other events and whatever. But hello, Bob. Nice to see you. Okay, so I'm going to kick it off with we are moving into Cancer season on Sunday. Now, it is a really, really, really big deal because it's coinciding with a solar eclipse. Now, I'm going to talk about the solar eclipse tomorrow, same time, with Leanne, and but today I'm going to focus on Cancer the Crab. So what it means is your season gets kicked off with this giant solar eclipse, which is a supercharged full moon. Now, it's a rare event because it coincides with the solstice. And of course, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. And, you know, the solstice and equinox are the giant points of astrology because that's how astrologers calculate astrology is based off these 4 points each year. And the other giant event in astrology are eclipses. So you've got these two really big things happening on Sunday exactly as the sun moves into Cancer. So it's a really big kickoff season for Cancer the Crab. And so what that means is that if you're born early in the sign of Cancer, and I'm saying early meaning if your birthday is around June 20th to the 25th, then this is a really big deal. And what it means for you the coming year through, you know, your next birthday in 2021 is really big changes and new turning points and new beginnings. Of course, yes, 2020 has been that for all of us, but I'm talking specifically to Cancer the Crabs born the 20th through, say, the 25th of June. And so what that means is it's a time of change and transition. specifically for you. And I know Cancer is one of the signs that has been going through so much change over the past couple of years. And this is sort of like, it's like you've been taking steps for these changes, and this is the final sort of, I want to say oomph. I don't know why. I don't know why I want to use that word, but it's sort of like, it's just popping into my head. So it's like, that's the final oomph. So for Cancer, it's like step through that doorway, step over that threshold. It's going to be okay. You know, you're a cardinal sign, you're an initiator. You're very good with new beginnings. So, you know, just a little about Cancer the crab. It's the 4th sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign, the other water signs being Scorpio and Pisces, which means you're really intuitive, if not psychic, very sensitive to those emotions that are going on around you. You know, the water signs are also empaths, which means be careful who you associate with. You know, you're all out with helping everyone. You're definitely the carers of the zodiac, but just have those boundaries. And that's what 2020 is teaching all of us about as well, is just to have those boundaries. So that's really significant for Cancer. And I said that Cancer is a cardinal sign. The other cardinal signs are Aries and Libra and Capricorn. And so the cardinal signs are the initiators or the leaders or the trendsetters of the zodiac. So if you have any planets in cardinal signs, that also applies to you. So, you know, Cancer is a very maternal or caretaking sign. So over the next 4 weeks, that's really the flavor of the month or the season, is not just taking care of others, but really taking care of ourselves first. So, you know, if once you're taken care of, or you're taking care of yourself, you can take care of others much better than just going as Cancer the crab does, takes care of others first, but think about yourself so you can really be the best that you can to look after everyone else. Cancer is the caretaker of the zodiac. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. Cancer takes care of all of us, you know, and the planet ruler of Cancer the crab is the moon. And so, you know, Cancer has a reputation of being a little bit moody, but that's because, you know, it tracks along with the phases of the moon. You know, the moon goes through a whole cycle in 28 days. And if, you know, you compare that to, say, Pluto, which is nearly 250 years, I mean, that's a giant difference. So Cancer has this reputation of being a bit moody, or, you know, sort of sometimes retreating into their shell. Let them be. When that happens, and if you're a Cancer and you're listening to this, put that in the comment. I want to know about this, because it's sort of, there's a little bit of misunderstanding there around that. You know, oh, Cancer's so moody. Oh, they're sulking. Oh, they're this, they're that. It's like, no, they're just retreating into their shell because they need a little bit of a timeout or a bit of a downtime to recharge the batteries. That's really what it's all about. And that's really misunderstood by, you know, a lot of the other signs, because, you know, it's okay to go internal. It's okay to have that downtime. It's okay to recharge. So that's what we can all expect over the next few weeks in the season of the crab.
I was just going to say, I love what you just shared, because I think it's so relevant for everyone. Like, take care of ourselves, recharge, like make sure that our cup is full before we go fill everybody else's cup. And I've also never heard it explained, like with Cancer in the 28-day cycle like that before. So that's really interesting. Sharing it like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, the moon phases. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do a plug here. I've got an incredible article on astrology.tv. If you go into the blog on astrology.tv, I actually recently just published something on the moon phases. And so it goes through not just the 4 major moon phases, but there's 8. So it breaks it down into like that level of detail. So that's what Cancer the crab can relate to, is like the changing phases of the moon. And I also just want to wish, I saw someone had a birthday. Happy birthday. We're still in the season of Gemini. We're at the very end. So when Leanne, there, you've put there on the screen the birthday forecast. That can apply to anyone born this week and then through Cancer. So just getting back to the forecasting and the Cancer, the crabs having their birthdays, I'm looking now at my calendar and I'm looking at, around June 30th. So if your birthday is like June 26th through June 30th, July 1st. So what's coming up for you is, just brilliant innovations. Your mind is just going to be firing over the course of the next year where, you're just channeling from some higher source. Trust your instincts, really trust your instincts here. And it's like you're going to be coming up with amazing out of the box ideas and out of the box thinking. It's been a tough year and we're looking for solutions, or we're looking for, I won't say answers, because those answers always come from within. They come internally, not from someone else. But it's like if you're seeking guidance or you're seeking insight and you're born around June 26th through the 30th, July 1st, then your mind will be firing. Your connection to a higher source will be so much, so connected that you won't even know yourself in a year's time when it's your next birthday. And I just saw a note there. Yes, the Mercury retrograde. Hoping, Leanne, you can remind me to talk about Mercury retrograde as well, because it's in the sign of Cancer. But I'm on a roll.
Yeah, you go for it. It's funny. I noted that. I was like, Mary's question. Bring that up. So.
Yes,
we're all
please.
Yes,
thank you. Because I'm on a roll. I don't want to forget that, because that's a really good point.
Keep going and I'll remind you.
So if you're born the first week of July, you're Cancer the crab born the first week of July. Wowee, what a full-on week, what a full-on year this is going to be. But of course, it's already been a full-on year. So I'm not saying anything that's new, but I'm just saying from this birthday through next birthday, which is 2021, and that sounds like 100 years into the future. We're just thinking about this year, I know. So if you're born the first week of July, and that's like around the 1st through the 7th, what's going on that week coming up is a lunar eclipse, which I will be talking about it, in a couple of weeks when that happens. And also Saturn, the planet of karma, retrograding back into Capricorn, its favorite sign. So what all that means is if you're born July 1st through the 7th, it's really, really, really important for you to have long-term plans. Yes, I know it's difficult at this time to even know what's happening tomorrow, but put it out there. Put it out there about what you want or what you've always wanted. It's really important that you really lay the foundations. No matter how impossible it might seem at this time, start laying the foundations, even if it's just like writing it out or having it in your head. Cancer is a sign of imagination. The water signs are Scorpio and Pisces. It's like the creativity is just supercharged with the water signs. So for you, Cancer, use your imagination. Think about what you really want. Plan for the future as best as you can right now. And I just saw that Key said July 3rd. This applies to you. Absolutely, yes. So whatever it is, think big. Your sign has been tested and challenged. The trials and tribulations that have been happening for Cancer the crab for the past, couple of years. It's time to sort of, now the rewards will come, and don't expect anything overnight. That's just not how things work. So it's like have those plans and make those goals and set those milestones. It's so imperative. Anybody born that first week of July. Now I'm looking at the next, say around July 8th through the 15th. And these are around the time. It's not like exactly on these dates, but I'm just giving like an overview for all the crabs that are born, during this time frame. So July 8th through the 15th. And what's going to be important for you if you're born during that time is to think through the words that you use. Think through what you're saying. Think through what's being said to you and review things from the past. That's the other thing about the crab. It's very much it's the sign of the past. So it's the sign, or it's the caretaker that looks after the past. Whereas Aquarius is the sign of the future. Cancer is a sign of the past. So it's like Cancer is very good with, roots and ancestry and connections to, where we come from and who we are. Cancer the crab is the historian of the zodiac. So, what's going to be really important if you're born July 8th through the 15th is about thinking through what's being said in the past, not dwelling on it, but just sort of like, how can you use that, what has been said, or communication from the past into the current and the future, especially, the year that's coming up through next birthday. So that's going to be really, really important. And you might find that, if you can review, remember what I said yesterday, review, renew, all that sort of stuff, communication from the past, that will really make a big difference. Now, finally, if you're born the last week of Cancer the crab, a big week, it's a big week. It's going to be a big year for you. It's going to be around new beginnings, but it's also going to be around finding a balance over the course of the next year. It's like, try not to get into power struggles. Try not to sort of buck up against authority, and sort of really find that balance between being who you are and being yourself, and not giving away too much of yourself to someone in control or someone who's in power. It really is about finding that balance. And when you can do that, find that happy medium, then you can step into the new, if that makes sense. It's sort of like for Cancer the crab, it's a really big season to sort of step through the doorway of new beginnings. So, but if you're born the last week of Cancer the crab, it's very much about, you've got one more test before you can step through that doorway. And that test is find that happy medium between who's pulling the strings. I don't know if that makes any sense, Leanne. And so it's like, that's going to be the important part before you can all move forward.
Okay. Now I have a couple questions from the comments. Should we do those now, or do you want to keep rolling? Okay. So the first question comes from Mary, and Mary says, is this Mercury retrograde going to be more intense for me as a Cancerian?
Yes. Thank you for that. Actually, thank you for the reminder. So just looking in my ephemeris, which of course nearly every show I hold up my ephemeris, because an astrologer can't do real astrology without this ephemeris. And this basically gives me the planetary positions for 50 years, from 2000 to 2050. So I can see at any given time where the planets are and put the interpretation to that. So I'm looking at June right now. I'm looking at the Mercury retrograde, which of course happened yesterday, and I can't wait for it to be over. That's just me saying that. So if you are a crab that is born, let's say the first half of Cancer the crab, yes, this Mercury retrograde will be affecting you more so. And really it's about what comes to light with this is about what you say. That's it, period. What you say. And particularly what you've said in the past. And so that will be what is coming up for the crabs born the first half of the sign. So that's going to be really important. And it's important as well that you embrace, as tough as it might be, because Mercury retrogrades are not always great. I can't think of a better way to say it, Leanne, but it's like, if you're a crab born the first half of Cancer, it's like, embrace what you need to deal with. You've been through so many tests these past couple of years. This is sort of like a piece of cake by comparison.
Well, I do want to share. So yesterday, Kelly and I did a video on Mercury retrograde, so you can still check that out on the Facebook page. But you really inspired me to start embracing Mercury retrograde. I've already started embracing the message for my particular sign, and I'm feeling pretty darn good. And today I woke up and I'm like, review, revise, revisit. And then all of these projects came to mind. I'm like, yep, now's the time. Let's close that off. Let's close this off. Let's close that off. So I know that you've given me a new lease on Mercury retrograde, and I'm going to pass this excitement on to everybody else. Mercury retrograde. Let's just follow the RE rule.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
This energy. Yeah. So I have another question from Patrice.
Mhm.
And Patrice says, what if my moon is in Cancer? Does it have any effect?
Wow, moon in Cancer. Okay, that's a big deal because yes, it does. To answer that question, yes, yes, and yes. So the moon rules Cancer the crab. So first of all, your moon is super strong. It's a very, very strong moon. The planets have their favorite signs and their least favorite signs, and then they have the whatever in between. So for the moon, it loves Cancer. So you know, and the first thing I think of is your emotions are so strong, and you know, positive or negative, you're one of those people that your emotions flow, and that's good for the body. You know, it's really good for the body because most of us, or many of us, are taught to repress our emotions and, you know, be tough and, you know, big boys don't cry and all that sort of stuff. Like that's, you know, that's so with moon in Cancer, it's like you're in touch with yourself, you're in touch with your emotions. So yes, it absolutely applies 100%. So this is also applicable to anybody that has rising or ascendant in Cancer as well. And somebody just asked something there, and now I'm blanking on it. Oh, what would this first half be? Yes. So the first half of Cancer is basically, you know, like June 20th through, this is all approximate, but the first half of Cancer. So June 20th through, say July 10th. It's all approximate. So, but, you know, it's applicable, obviously. There was another question, Leanne.
There's one more. It's funny. Today's question day. And so Praveen asks, he's born on July 22nd. Is he a Cancer or a mix of Leo and Cancer?
Whoa, that's
people. There's always like on the cusp questions. So.
I love cusps because okay, now you've got me started on this one. So here's the first thing. I developed this product, and this sounds like a plug, but it's not. I developed this product with cusps in mind, right? So I was thinking all about cusps because you can imagine over the years I've had so many people ask me about cusps. There's a lot of confusion. It depends on what time you were born and when you were born to really determine, and the place you were born to determine really what sign you are. But most people don't have that accurate information, and it's a hassle to get, even if it was recorded somewhere. Believe me, I've been through it. So it's a real drag about the birth time. So if you go to video.astrology.tv, I've got all this information on cusps. So if you're a cusp sign, you have to go there because I have created this amazing video product where it talks to you specifically about cusps. So the question is, what you're going to get back in the video is the information about the Cancer Leo cusp. And on the 22nd of July, that's the day that the sun changes sign. So you're definitely a cusp. And I really encourage everyone, if you're a cusp or even if you're not, to go to video.astrology.tv because it's all about cusps with other stuff as well. But yes, that will address it.
I realized I was muted. Awesome.
I was like, oh.
I just added, so I added that onto the screen. Hashtag on the cusp. Visit video.astrology.tv.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so everybody can go check that out there.
Great. Any other questions, or should I jump into compatibility?
Let's jump into compatibility, and I will monitor for any other questions that come through.
Okay. So compatibility, I love compatibility. I have so much fun with it. And the great place to start with compatibility is zodiac signs, sun signs. So basically Cancer, Aries, Cancer, Taurus, Cancer, Gemini. That's what I'm going to talk about today. But really it goes so beyond a sun sign. A zodiac sign is the place to start, of course, but it really depends on the date of birth. And then again, it sounds like a plug. I know it sounds like this, but I'm not doing it. It's like I've got these incredible free romantic compatibility reports on astrology.tv, Leanne. And I think it's astrology.tv/reports. So it's like, get a free compatibility report. I'm going to be talking about the sun sign connections here, but there's so much more beyond that. There's all the planets and all the signs and the combinations that we each as individuals we each have. So it just goes beyond that. But I'm going to start with Cancer the crab and Aries. So this is a really feisty combination. And if I talk about any of these compatibilities with any of you, let me know. Give me some feedback, because I love this sort of stuff. So Cancer and Aries. Okay, very feisty. Both of you are leaders. Both of you are cardinal signs. And it's a matter of working out who's leading at which time and in which direction. That's really the tangle that these two signs can get into. Aries is a fire sign, Cancer is a water sign. So you think about the elements, and you've got fire and water. So you've got to be careful that too much water doesn't put out the fire, and that's really where you've got to find the balance. Next up, and I just saw somebody say Cancer Taurus. I love the connection of Cancer and Taurus. It's a beautiful, beautiful connection. You just get each other. You understand each other. And that's the rule in astrology. Signs that are two apart in the zodiac really get on. So Cancer and Taurus definitely.
Well, and I'm Pisces, and I love Taurus. I have a lot of Taurans friends that I get along well with. So very interesting.
Absolutely.
And Cancer, so that would be the second one.
Love Cancer Taurus because they understand each other. Taurus, I always say this, Taurus, even though the symbol is the bull, I always say, Taurus is really cuddly. And so Cancer really likes to be close. So you put those two together, and they're sort of like all tactile and all like the touchy-feelies. They just understand each other. Taurus will ground Cancer and be okay with Cancer's emotions. And Cancer will actually allow Taurus to have those emotions. Not that Taurus doesn't, but I'm just saying they really work well together. And the rule also, another rule for compatibility is earth and water signs get on really well, and fire and air signs. And again, even if you're, not connecting on that sun sign level, but you're in a relationship, there is definitely other factors involved, because that's what brought you together in the first place. So there's always some sort of glue. It's just a matter of how much glue. I don't know if that's the best example, but, you guys get it, I'm sure. Next up, we've got Cancer and Gemini. Now, anytime signs are next to each other in the zodiac, it's really interesting. It's a very interesting connection, because there's a little bit of karma or something that you've got to understand or learn from each other. So with Gemini is a very intellectual, clever, witty, smart sign, whereas Cancer is a lot more emotional. So that's the difference there with these two signs. One's emotional, which is Cancer, the other is intellectual. So when it comes to communication, which is what Gemini needs, Cancer is going to communicate through their emotions. And then Gemini will communicate through the intellect or logic, and maybe seem a little bit cool emotionally. So that's what these two signs have to sort out with each other. Next up, we've got Cancer and Cancer. I would actually love to know if anybody here is Cancer. That would be really fascinating, because the focused, there is?
Yes, Susan said Cancer and Cancer.
Oh, nice. So this really, because Cancer is the sign of the family. So when you've got two Cancers together, it's very much family first. And family first, and we take care of each other, and we're loyal and we're patriotic, because they're the key words for Cancer as well. So it's family first. And also the other thing that a lot of people don't realize with Cancer the crab is Cancer is very savvy financially. So I'm sure that two Cancers together have a really great financial plan for their future. And of course, that's really important. So, they get each other. Two signs together, not always the same. Hang on, what am I trying to say? Two signs together doesn't always apply to all zodiac signs. So Cancer, it does, because you understand the need for space, or you understand the need to retreat. Now we've got Cancer and Leo. This is a fascinating combination. Again, it's like signs next to each other in the zodiac, but there's more than just that for Cancer and Leo. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, and Leo is the father of the zodiac, regardless of the gender. So in some ways, it's like, here's the parents of the zodiac coming together. So again, it's that family first sort of priority, and it's not so sort of like swimming in emotions, because Leo is a fixed fire sign, so they're not as, I'll say, bogged down in that emotional realm. So it's actually a very good sort of even balanced connection there. Next up, we've got Cancer and Virgo. I really like this combination as well. I've come across many of the Cancer Virgo combinations now that I'm thinking through that. And again, there's the rule, 2 apart in the zodiac. And so you've got Cancer, which is the cardinal water sign, and Virgo is the mutable earth sign. So there's a good balance. There's a really great balance there, because Virgo can be sometimes a bit aloof, and it's not because they're an air sign, but they are ruled by Mercury. It's more about this reserved nature when it comes to relationships. And, Virgo likes to think through the details. Virgo does have a reputation of seeking perfection, and sometimes good enough is good enough. But Cancer understands that about Virgo sort of innately. So that's a very good connection. Next up, we've got Libra. So Cancer and Libra. Cancer and Libra, both are cardinal signs, both really like to take care of people, but in different ways. Cancer approaches the caretaking from an emotional point of view, whereas Libra will approach from an intellectual point of view. But both really want to take care of you, both or each other, and both really want to please. Libra is the people pleaser of the zodiac. And so there's that connection there when they've got a common goal of, taking care of others. Next up, we've got Scorpio. So Cancer and Scorpio, 2 water signs. Again, another rule of compatibility, or another guideline, I should say, is the elements. So when you're of the same element, it's a fantastic compatibility sort of measurer. So Scorpio and Cancer, you just get each other instinctively. You're both psychic, very intuitive, empaths. You want to have the deepest possible connection you can with someone else. That's the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So when you have 2 water signs coming together, the depth of emotion, the depth of connection, the depth of loyalty, particularly from Scorpio, that you both need to thrive, is just incredible.
And I think Claire would be happy about that, because she said, let's talk Scorpio and Cancer with a fire emoji. So sounds like it's all good.
Yeah. And then next up, we've got Cancer and Sagittarius. Now, this is a really interesting combination. It's karmic. There's something fated about that connection, meaning you've been in a relationship, you've known each other in past lives, you come together again in this lifetime to work something out. And on a surface level, it might seem that there's nothing in common between you. But really, you're working through something. You're working through something that's not, I wouldn't say heavy, but it's karmic. You know each other. You've come together. Think back when you first met. There was a familiarity, probably something seemed familiar. Maybe your partner looked familiar, reminded you of someone. That's the past life connection. And I always get goosebumps when I talk about that. I love those fated karmic connections. And so what astrologers call that connection is a quincunx. So there's a quincunx between Cancer and Sagittarius. Next up, we've got Cancer and Capricorn. So opposites attract. And if you are a Cancer Capricorn match, Then there's a lunar eclipse, and that's happening on July 4th. And the lunar eclipse is in Capricorn. And that's really going to shine the light on your relationship. And if there's any issues, which most normal couples have, then the issues would be highlighted at this time around July 4th with the lunar eclipse. So that's what's coming up for Cancer Capricorn combination. I just want to address Isabel there. You get on really well. That's fantastic. That's because you understand each other. There's a familiarity there, and that goes for non-romantic as well as romantic. It's just that sign combination. So it's like, it doesn't mean negative. It just means that there's a familiarity there, and you understand each other, or there's something that needs to be worked out throughout, your lifetime. Next up, we've got Cancer Aquarius. That's another quincunx, and that's another karmic connection. So what that means is that you're here to learn something from each other. Now, Aquarius is a fixed air sign, and is basically the genius of the zodiac, is a brilliant thinker, an innovator, a science, a technologist. I was going to say something else, technologist. And Cancer is more emotional. And the differences there are that Cancer really needs that, that emotional connection. And sometimes Aquarius can be a bit aloof. So that's really what they need to work out, through their connection. And then finally, we've got Cancer and Pisces, both water signs, beautiful connection, just incredible. I can hear the violins playing with this connection. It's just amazing. It's like you finish each other's sentences, you can read each other's minds, you just get each other. But just be careful not to get too lost in the emotion, and there needs to be some grounding from one or both of you from other planets in an earth sign or something like that. But overall, an incredible connection.
Awesome. Well, that's really good to hear. So really quick, I see that Nikki, she said, I'm so tired and trying to be creative and doing yoga and dance. And so Nikki, what comes to mind for me is, let's all learn from the message of Cancer this month. The Cancer, the crab, is like, take care of ourselves, self-care, like listen into that. So I just wanted to quickly, that caught my attention. And then I know a lot of people are asking, Cancer and Leo, and what about this? So when this video, we're going to be wrapping up right away. So this is going to be live on the numerologist.com page. So you can watch this. Kelli went through all of the astrology signs for the compatibility. And we also talked about a lot of things today. So I'm just going to do a quick recap. So first of all, on the screen right now, Kelli, she is an incredible creator. She's just so knowledgeable and creates a ton of free reports and profiles for you to access. So go to astrology.tv/reports. I was just checking out the page. There's a lot of different compatibility reports, relationship profile reports. So go check that out. The other thing that I want to remind everybody of, and this goes for if you're not on the cusp, but we had an on the cusp question today. And so Kelli's created this incredible video report. So go to video.astrology.tv. Again, this is free. So go enjoy, learn about yourself, learn about others. And what we started off with was happy birthday, Cancer. We are coming into Cancer season. And there is, of course, there's a wonderful solar return report, which essentially means birthday report. So if you're a Cancer, if you know a Cancer, or you're right on the cusp, like we had Key at the very beginning of the call, go get your report now. And then I also just want to say one other thing, because it is Thursday. Let me see, where did I? So it's Thursday, and every Thursday, if you are a part of Kelli's community, you know that she does live readings at 2 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday. How can you find out about this and get access to these insider calls? Go to astrology.tv/newsletters. So we just had a ton of goodies today. That just happened really organically, and that was so much fun.
I know it was. Can I just also add, I'm looking at Deborah's comment. How can I learn about my past life? That's actually also in the free video report.
Perfect.
I focused on cusps, but I've also got a big segment in there about past life.
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, we've got some other cuspies. I like that cuspy here. So this was so much fun. I think, and let us know what everybody who's tuning in right now, but maybe we do a Q&A sometime. That could be fun.
Yeah, I like doing those. That's fun.
Yeah. So we could maybe mix it up a little bit. Not like we need to throw anything else in because there's so much going on in the sky. I feel like we could talk every day, all day about all of this. But thank you so much to everyone who tuned in today. If you have any friends who would benefit from this information, make sure you share this video with them or tag them in the comments section. And Kelli, thank you so much for joining us yet again and sharing all of your wisdom. I feel extremely grateful to be getting this. It feels like insider knowledge and information to make my life better. So just thank you for joining us and taking the time to share.
Thank you, Leanne, and thank you, everyone. And see you tomorrow, same time.
Yep, tomorrow, same time. See ya.
Bye, everyone.